everybody. This is the first in a three-part series that covers, is aimed at South Africans who have either emigrated a number of years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, or that are considering immigrating, and perhaps not even necessarily with their families. Maybe they're just going overseas to take advantage of an accelerated opportunity to earn more money and accelerate your savings for retirement, for example. But what we're specifically covering is in those instances where it's going to be beneficial for those individuals to move their tax jurisdiction away, or their tax residency away from South Africa to the foreign jurisdiction. My name is Mike Moore. I am a wealth manager with Wells Faber. We've been answering these type of questions and assisting clients with all of their financial and wealth management needs for over 30 years. And today I'm joined by Irma from Regan van Roy, who we collaborate with on a daily basis. Irma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Mike. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Irma Lategan. I'm the private client head at Regan van Roy, and I deal with people moving to and out of South Africa on a daily basis, and also managing their assets and estate planning. So this is very relevant.
Awesome. So Irma, I don't know about you, but I typically find that these sort of issues are really pertinent to people that are going to places like Dubai. Saudi Arabia is becoming a lot more popular now. And I've also had quite a few clients asking these questions that have moved to the low tax cantons in Switzerland, such as Zug. So that's typically where we answer them. And when they're about to move, or if they have been overseas, the one thing on their mind, first and foremost, is should they change their tax domicile? And that's even the case if they've been there for 20 years. What is your answer to that, or what are the considerations?
Well, Mike, it's actually not a choice. It's actually a matter of law. So you look at the South African law regarding residency, and when are you seen as a South African tax resident and when not. So you formally place your immigration from a tax perspective on record with SARS, just to bring the law and the practicalities together. So in law, you are tax resident in South Africa if you're ordinary resident in South Africa. So that's when your house is here, your family is here, and this is the place where you live, or as they say in the case law that we look at, you return from your wanderings, or where you keep your pipe and slippers. That's the first and dominant test. Then the second test is obviously the days test, or the physical presence test. And that is a 6-year test where they look at where you spent a lot of time in South Africa over a period of 6 years, which consists of 3 tiers. So if you tick the box on all 3 tiers, then you are resident in terms of the physical presence test. So it's basically, you need to place your residency on record with SARS in order just to clarify and to tell SARS that you are no longer tax resident in South Africa and liable for tax on your worldwide income. Otherwise, they are going to try and tax you on your income that you earn in Dubai or one of the other countries that you've mentioned. And you're going to be taxed at the South African rates as if you are a South African tax resident, even though you might not live here anymore.
So it's clearly worthwhile if you're moving to a low tax jurisdiction, and in terms of the law, it is evident that you are moving, you are now tax resident elsewhere. You would encourage somebody to explore whether or not they can achieve that.
Yes.
We want to keep these concise. So I just want to ask you one further question. In what instance is it not worthwhile doing so? Is it only in the case of is that only the situation in the case of law when you can't actually prove that you've moved, or is there a situation where you could prove that you've moved tax domicile, but for whatever reason you don't need to place your immigration on record?
It's always a good idea to make the law and the practicalities coincide. So I would always encourage people that if they've really moved, if they're really living offshore, rather to let SARS know. So it's not really a matter of should I do it or should I not? It's a matter of what is applicable to you in terms of the law. Are you really tax resident in terms of the ordinary residency test, or the physical presence test in South Africa. It also makes your life a lot easier if you've moved and you're earning offshore income, so that SARS don't come a couple of years later and say, hey, you haven't submitted your tax returns, you're behind on your taxes in South Africa, and actually you're not tax resident here anymore. So basically it's a practical question, and you just need to look at the law of where you live now.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks, Irma. So that wraps this up. As I say, I want to keep it concise. In part 2, we're going to discuss the implications of placing your tax residency or your change or your immigration on record with SARS. And the primary implication there is exit tax. So thanks for your answers in this part 1, Irma, and we'll see everybody in part 2.